What is happening, guys? It's your boy TC back with another video. So even before the season has started, we're experiencing some issues already, and this time really it's quite a peculiar and weird situation. It's actually involving Laurent Koscielny. I'm sure you guys have seen the headlines really that emerged last night in relation to Laurent Koscielny wanting to leave the club. It's been absolutely weird and completely out of character for the club captain, but I don't think he'll be the club captain any longer. So in this video we will be discussing why Laurent Koscielny has made this decision, or why he's doing what he's doing now, and who may potentially be the next Arsenal captain. So let's just talk about the whole situation. So as I said yesterday, really last night, the situation emerged that Laurent Koscielny didn't want to travel with the team to the US tour. So we know the rest of the team is set off to go over to the US to undertake a pre-season tour. But Laurent Koscielny opted not to travel, or he forcefully remained at home, not wanting to travel with the rest of the team. And it's believed that the club didn't uphold some promises that were made to Laurent Koscielny at last season, and this is in regards to Champions League football and his existing contract. So let's just go by a report that came out yesterday, or in the last 24 hours or so. The report reads: Laurent Koscielny's dissatisfaction with Arsenal extends beyond his desire to return to France after 9 years in North London. The 33-year-old has 12 months remaining on his current contract, but is said to believe an agreement was in place that would allow him to leave this summer following Arsenal's failure to qualify for the Champions League. Koscielny believes Arsenal has reneged on that promise and is reportedly considering the option of buying out the remainder of his current contract at £90,000 per week and engineer a return to his homeland, where the likes of Lyon and Bordeaux are interested in his services. So let's just talk about that particular passage really from that particular report. Obviously it looks like Laurent Koscielny wants to leave. I do believe that he was promised that if we made the Champions League last season, then his contract would have been extended, then he would have stayed at the club. Obviously that didn't actually happen last season. As we all know, we lost in the final against Chelsea in the Europa League final, and he did obviously play in that particular game itself, and that situation didn't come to fruition. So of course he is now considering an option to buy out the remainder of his £90,000 per week contract. But let's just ask why he wants to do this. So of course one reason being the club didn't qualify for the Champions League. He obviously wants to play in the Champions League. We know that top players want to play in the Champions League, but is Laurent Koscielny still a top player? No, I wouldn't say he's at the peak of his powers. Of course, when he returned in December last year, improved the defence. I kept saying in my match reviews or previews really that he had improved the defence, stabilised the rest of the back four, but is no longer a top player. So of course he wants to leave, and apparently another reason is he's not happy in regards to the direction the club's heading at the moment. In regards to what, we don't know. We don't know if it's in relation to transfers. We don't know if it's in relation to the structure at the club itself. We don't know as far as I'm aware. The report goes on to say an ugly situation came to head on Wednesday morning when, according to the BBC reporter David Oystein, that Koscielny informed Unai Emery that he would not travel with the rest of the squad to America for the club's pre-season tour. And it is reported that Unai Emery was absolutely furious with the club captain's conduct, immediately informed the head of football, Sanlehi, who took the decision to issue a statement condemning the player's actions. So of course I can imagine Unai Emery wasn't happy with this whole situation, and for club captain really to behave in such a manner, that's absolutely unacceptable. This could have been done behind closed doors. However, this is extremely out of character for Laurent Koscielny. He's been with us for nearly 10 years now, and for that whole duration he's been absolutely loyal to the club. He's risked his own health and fitness in order for him to obviously represent Arsenal, and I do believe he's obviously reached the end of his tether in regarding to the whole situation at the club, and he wants out. But it's extremely out of character, and we don't obviously know what the whole reasoning behind this situation is, but he must not be happy. So a statement that was released by Sanley read: "We are very disappointed by Laurent Koscielny's actions, which are against our clear instructions. Koscielny has refused to travel to the US for our pre-season tour. We hope to resolve We hope to resolve this matter and will not be providing any further comment at this time. So according to Osteen, who's the BBC reporter, Koscielny's issues date back to last season, believing he was overworked and his schedule mismanaged upon his return from a career-threatening Achilles injury suffered in May 2018. So there is obviously some issues there between himself and Unai Emery. Of course, Unai Emery would have been the one selecting the team. Does he believe Unai Emery overworked him? Well, according to Osteen, that is the situation. This report goes on to further say Laurent Koscielny made his return to the first team action in December in the Europa League and was forced to play again 3 days later at Southampton, a game in which he made several costly errors during a 3-2 defeat. I'm sure we all remember that 3-2 defeat at Southampton. Absolutely dreadful. It was a poor performance from the whole team. Koscielny was subsequently asked on 5 other occasions to play twice within 3 days and put his body on the line in an attempt to help secure Champions League for his team. So of course, a player being asked to play over and over again over a period of days is nothing new within sport or in football alone. Koscielny has a contract which binds him to actually perform as and when required. Of course, there's a duty of care from the club that should be in place in relation to his health and his fitness, and he probably doesn't believe that that was taken seriously. But if you're being paid £90,000 a week, yes, I understand. He had just come back from a career-threatening injury, but if you're being paid that much, go out and play. If you're fit, you're fit. Go on and actually play the game. What you are being paid to do, of course, again, I reiterate, I've said this multiple times, I'm not a professional footballer, so I wouldn't know exactly what it's like to be in that particular situation, but I do believe if you're being employed and you're under contract, you should honour that particular contract. So this report again goes on to say that talks were held before the end of last season of a contract extension, as it appeared almost certain that Arsenal would return to Europe's elite club competition. At some point, we looked like we were going to go back into the Champions League, but a dismal end to the campaign, culminating in a 4-1 defeat to Chelsea in Baku, has dramatically changed the landscape for the club and the player alike. So Osteen goes on to further claim that Koscielny is dismayed at the direction the club is headed, which I've mentioned already at the top of the video, with only one signing having been made during this transfer window, that is in the form of Gabriel Martinelli. So it looks like this situation with Laurent Koscielny is turning absolutely messy. Is it going to get resolved? Is the player going to get his wish? It's believed that Arsenal want 10 million euros for the defender, and Bordeaux and Lyon are keen on his services, so we know that it comes from France. As you can see from the image on the screen now, there's a clip from the back of L'Equipe, which is a sports-based newspaper in France, and it looks like Bordeaux are the front runners, I should say, for the Arsenal player's signature. Is it going to materialise? I'm not too sure, but if he forces a move out, we're one defender short as well, bearing in mind that this situation needs to be addressed in relation to defenders, etc. So it's going to be a tough summer, ladies and gentlemen. It's not going to get any easier unless this situation is definitely addressed. So who do we have as the next captain? Naturally, I'd say Nacho Monreal. Due to the length of service at the club, there's no other candidate really to replace him as club captain. Is Nacho Monreal the player that we want as club captain? Some may say no. I'm on that side of people that may say no, but I do believe the natural selection will be Nacho Monreal moving forward, or Unai Emery may surprise everyone and choose a completely different club captain. But this is certainly a developing situation, which is extremely interesting. As we get more updates, guys, I will come back to you and give you updates, but as usual, please do let me know what you think in the comments below. If you're watching this video and you're not subscribed to the channel, please do make sure that you do hit that subscribe button. So once again, guys, your boy TC from I'm Gonna Talk TV, and I'm out.